Hi, I'm Marco, and today I'm going to show you how you can install the Rust programming language and also configure Visual Studio Code in order to use features like code completion and refactoring tools on macOS, Windows, and Linux. If you like this kind of content, don't be afraid of the like button, and without further ado, let's get started with Windows. Alright, here we are in Windows now. So the first thing we want to do is start a web browser. I'm just going to go with Edge here and navigate to rust-lang.org. That's the main website for the Rust project, and here you can download Rust and also see some stuff like new versions and stuff like that. So let's click Get Started. Navigate a little bit down, and there you can see Rust Up, the Rust installer and version management tool. This is exactly what we want to use. Now, if you're not sure whether to choose the 32-bit or 64-bit version, it's highly likely that you're going to want to download the 64-bit version, but you can just check which system you're using by going to System Information. And right here under the System Summary, you can see the system type. For me, it's ARM64. For you, it might be 32-bit or 64-bit. You should be able to see that here. Alright, most systems are going to be 64-bit anyway, so we're going to go with that right now. Alright, we want to keep this, and we want to keep it anyway. Okay, we've downloaded it, and now we can just open it. So this is going to open a terminal window, which wants to download some C++ build tools. You're going to need to do this, so let's just continue. Yes. Now you can choose which version of Rust to install. So it detected my host correctly, ARM64, that is ARM64, the kind of CPU I'm using. For you, it's probably going to be something like x64 or x64_86 PC Windows MSVC. We want to go with the stable default toolchain with the default profile, and we want to modify our path variable so that we can use Rust from the command line if we need to. So let's just proceed with the installation right now by pressing 1 and enter. So this is downloading Rust now. That should be fairly quick depending on your internet connection, but it shouldn't take too long. Okay, Rust has finished installing. Now we can just press the enter key to continue, and we are pretty much done here. So next I'm going to show you how you can actually install Visual Studio Code if you don't have it already, and use Rust Analyzer with it. So let's go to code.visualstudio.com. Okay, and just click download for Windows. Now this download should start automatically, as you can see here. After it's finished downloading, just click it. Accept the agreement, of course, after reading it. And click next, next, next. You can do this if you want to open folders in Visual Studio Code, but for now it's not extremely important. I would recommend doing it anyway. Okay, click next and click install. So that should also be fairly quick depending on your system and configuration. Also, this should not happen. I clicked it twice. Okay, let's wait until Visual Studio Code is installed, then we can proceed. Okay, Visual Studio Code has finished installing and we can immediately launch it. And there we go. So, when you're in Visual Studio Code, you're going to want to install 2 extensions. So by clicking here, you can go to the extension directory, and there you're just going to search for Rust Analyzer. Second one, Rust language support for Visual Studio Code, is the one you're going to want to install. So let's just click install. And while this is installing in the background, we can also search for better TOML, because Rust uses TOML files for configuration. And we're going to want to install the second one, even better TOML, because it has support for some things that better TOML doesn't. So let's install that too. And that should also be fairly quick. So it's installed now, and I'm pretty sure that Rust Analyzer is also installed. Okay, let's do macOS now. It's actually even easier than Windows, so we just open Safari, navigate to rustlang.org as we did on Windows. Click on Get Started, and then copy this command here to your clipboard and open the terminal. And here you can just basically paste it and run it. It's going to show you the same prompt as on Windows. We can do the same here, just proceed with the installation. Okay, all done now. Now we also have to download Visual Studio Code here. So again, code.visualstudio.com. And here you're going to see the right binary for your system, and then you can just download it. That should also be fairly quick. And here you can see Visual Studio Code. So now, in order to install it, we're going to open Finder, navigate to Downloads, and just drag Visual Studio Code into the Applications folder. Ideally before actually opening it. Okay, now we can just open Visual Studio Code. And if the same thing happens that it can't be verified, you just go to Applications, search for Visual Studio Code, and hold Option and click Open again. Then you can say Open, and from there it will always work. Just have to do that once to tell macOS that it's safe to use. Okay, and now we can also go to the extensions. I don't know why it's so buggy right now. I'm running macOS in a virtual machine. But anyway, we're going to search for Rust Analyzer. It's the second one. I'm really sorry that it looks so weird. And click Install. And then the same thing for Beta TML again. And we're going to use even Beta TML. Alright. And now we're done with macOS setup too. Now we are on Linux, specifically Ubuntu, where the steps are very similar to macOS. So let's just navigate to rustlang.org again. Click the Get Started button, scroll a little bit down, copy this, and then open a terminal where you can paste it. So now the same procedure again, just press 1, press Enter, wait for it to download. In the meantime, we can already install Visual Studio Code by opening a second terminal session and just running sudo apt install code. Simple as that. Enter your password. And let's wait for code to be installed. So now this should complete at roughly the same time. Okay, Rust is actually installed, so we can close that terminal, wait for Visual Studio Code to finish, and there we are. So now we can close our browser and run code. And now the same thing again. Let's go to the extensions, install Beta TML by entering it into the search box and clicking install if it's not installed already. Actually, I can show it. Just click install here. And same thing for Rust Analyzer. I already had it installed here because I played around with this virtual machine a little bit beforehand, but yeah, it's the same thing always. Okay, so now we're done. You installed Visual Studio Code and Rust on all 3 systems, and you should already have full support for Rust refactoring and code completion on all 3 platforms. Alright, we're all done now. We installed Visual Studio Code and Rust on Windows, macOS and Linux. If you have any problems, feel free to write them in the comments, and I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. As said in the beginning, if you like this content, just leave a like and don't be a stranger.